Now, Behind the Law with Justin Clark and Allie Mack on ESPN 580 Orlando.
And welcome to the program. It's another edition of Behind the Law right here on ESPN 580 Orlando. Thank you for spending your evenings here with us on our favorite sports radio station. Also, don't forget to watch the show every single weekday about 4 o'clock p.m. at Behind the Law Radio. You can also watch the TV show. It's Behind the Law on television this Sunday and every Sunday, 10 a.m. on TV 27. To my left, Allie Mack, how are you?
I'm doing good. You don't sound so good, though. I heard that little...
I'm fully recovered now.
Oh, sure you are.
No, I am. I don't think I'm sick anymore. It's just, look, I had the flu like 2 weeks ago.
Just a little phlegm in my throat and
it's
a cough.
Sort of, that's
I'm feeling better.
But I think I'm fully recovered now. But then I got everyone in my house sick, and I think everyone's finally getting better.
Oh,
Did you get the
good.
flu this year? What do you think about flu shots? Do you get flu shots or no?
I don't get flu shots because when I get the flu shot, I get the flu.
Oh, yeah.
So I do get sick periodically, but it's maybe like a 24-hour bug. But other than that, I'm very healthy.
To my right, running the show today, the beautiful Brianna. Hello, Brianna. How are you?
Awesome. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. We have a very special show today. We're going to do the news with Allie Mack. We'll also play Stump the Clarkie in the second half hour. And an awesome guest here to talk today about the IOA Corporate 5K on April 18th. John Hughes from the Track Shack will be joining us as well. A lot going on in the news, a lot of sports news, Allie Mack, huh? And there's a lot of local sports news, I would say, also.
Yes, most definitely.
Let's get right to it.
On the internet, she's talking about it. It's What's Going On with Allie Mack.
What's going on? What's going on?
What's going on with me? Well, happy Monday, everybody. And one thing that we saw this weekend was the Orlando Magic made the playoffs. So isn't that amazing?
Hallelujah.
We can finally wear blue again. We believe in magic. Get your bumper stickers out. So yes, they did win against the Celtics. A really, really good game. I myself didn't watch it, but I heard it. My husband saw it. So it was 116 to 108. So that's fantastic. So go Magic. And, I'm sure everybody's going to be, watching them as they're in the playoffs, as you are, Mr. Justin.
Yeah, I am a Magic fan for sure, no doubt about it. I spent a lot of time in Boston, so I'm a Celtics guy as well. But, I've been here a decade, so
Were
the
you
Magic.
rooting for the Celtics?
No, I would certainly be rooting for the Magic when it comes to Magic v. Celtics.
Okay, just
But it's
checking.
good to see it because the Magic have been terrible for a lot of
have.
seasons now, so it's good to see them back in the mix a little bit. Now, look, I think most people understand there's going to be a first-round exit, unfortunately, but they have been playing really well. I mean, they've been playing really, really, really well.
Well, Terrence Ross scored 26 points. Nikolai Vukovic, did I say it right?
Yeah,
Vukovic?
close enough.
25 points and 12 rebounds.
Yeah, so Ross is
pretty
actually
good.
very close to setting an NBA record. I think he needs 7 3-pointers in their last game to set the NBA record for most threes in a season off the bench.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know if he's going to get it, 7. But look, I almost think that if you're playing basketball and you get fouled shooting a 3-pointer and you make all 3 shots, it should almost count as a made basket, But it doesn't because he had 3 of those last night. He got fouled on 3 separate 3-point attempts and made all 9 free throws. Another thing, you're not going to know what I'm talking about, but those of you who are point guards out there, as I always was, as a point guard, if we make a great pass, right, and the guy gets fouled and makes both foul shots, I should get the assist for that, but you don't. You got to give me the assist. My guy, because of my pass, got fouled, and that's why he didn't make the shot, but he made both free throws. Give me the assist there.
Well, I agree. Well, in Orlando news, Orlando City,
Yeah.
we won against Denver.
Good job.
So the last part of it, but it was rained out, so it was the TV it took it off TV and then it came back right after they won. So it was a really, really, really good game. Who was the? Were you watching it, Justin?
I missed that game.
Oh my God, it was really good. So if you didn't watch it, make sure you go watch the replays and the recaps, and of course be looking at Orlando City for they're getting good. They're getting good. So in other Florida news, a Florida man was arrested 15 minutes after he was released from jail.
What?
15 minutes after he was released from jail. Port in St. Lucie County. So I think you were saying that's a record.
I wonder if that. I would
I
think
mean,
that might be a
15
record.
minutes
Yeah,
after?
he had the thought of he had to go pay for his own meal, and he's like, I can't do this. I want to go back. Right?
don't know.
mean, who does that? You would think that, you sniff a little freedom, and you don't want to do that.
I know. Well, surveillance videos caught him pulling on car door handles and entering an unlocked vehicle
Right.
at the detention center.
What an idiot.
I mean, couldn't he just leave the detention center, kind of just get, but so, that's Florida for you. And did you guys hear about that humongous python that was found in South Florida? So
No.
it was 140 pounds, 17-foot long
Wow.
python was captured.
Oh.
Isn't that scary? Well, they weren't even looking for this one. They were looking for male pythons. I think they have them already, marked, or they're tracking their locations. And because they're trying to find the female ones, because apparently those are the largest ones.
Can I tell you a python story?
Oh God.
So,
Clean.
well, I was in my senior year of high school. This is in Bristol, Tennessee. My buddy, for whatever reason, has a 12-foot python. So,
Oh my gosh.
you think about 12 feet long, and that's from like here to the door over there. This is a
Yeah.
long, and when they're that long, they're thick too. I mean, this is it was the pet. I mean, it was the pet. It stayed in their living
Holy
room.
cow.
So we go over to his house. We're preparing to go to our football game that night. It is 12-foot python, which we just, take out and hang like it's a pet.
Oh.
I didn't really that much, but they did.
Oh.
And when they're that big, you don't have them in like a cage that's up on the air. They're in like this huge tank that sits on the ground. So Ryan was his name, goes to get, I forgot the python's name because, who really wants to name a snake anyway? Puts his arm out to go get the snake because I guess he's going to hang out with him. Snake just latches onto him, starts gushing blood everywhere and everything. So
Oh
I
my
actually
God.
witnessed one of these 12-foot pythons bite this guy. We had to like rip the snake off of him. I mean, he was attacking him. Look, ladies and gentlemen, let's be honest here. You might love your reptile, but I'm not sure your reptile loves you back.
No. Ew.
All right?
No.
I mean,
that.
look, go buy a dog or a cat.
Was
Go
your friend
see it.
okay?
But
Did he
yeah.
have to have?
He had to have stitches, but that was about it. But
Oh.
if you really want to get like that animal love, why don't you please go rescue a cat or a dog? Don't go buy a 12-foot python. All right? And if you learned anything
is-
today here on Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando, it is don't buy a reptile. Although I got a turtle the other day.
You did?
Yep. Did I not tell you?
Oh, that's cool.
So do you have any more stories?
Do you
or is
have a
that it?
little aquarium? Well, the last thing I want to mention is
Then I'll tell you
I
about the
want
turtle.
we want to start doing a Fitbit challenge because I think fitness is very important. You play basketball, I jog. The rest of us also do different activities. So I think it would be very good for us to do a Fitbit challenge with our viewers. So stay tuned for that. And that's what's in
So
the
I have a
news.
Fitbit. That means I have to start wearing it, though.
Yes.
Huh? All right.
Yes.
I guess we'll do it.
I
Well,
think that would be fun.
let's welcome a very special guest to the show. First of all, John Hughes, co-owner of Track Shack in downtown Orlando. John, how are you, sir?
Doing very well.
So,
Thank you.
what do you think about this? So, we already have too many animals in my house. Too many. Way too many. And we have a horse. Stay at the house. The horse, we have a barn.
Just wondering about that.
But you know how people who are from like Nebraska and they come to Florida for vacation, they only see the beach once every like 3 or 4 years. Well, those little surf shops, you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about, where you go buy the 3-for-1 towels and
Yeah.
they have the hermit crabs and things like that for sale. If you also notice at these little surf shops, they also have turtles for sale. We live in Florida, next to the beach, right? All of us here, we live in Florida. We're not like blown away by these surf shops and think in our heads, ooh, I'm going to go buy a hermit crab. Or, ooh, I'm going to go buy a turtle. No, not this guy. Sophia, my 6-year-old daughter, and I were at the beach the other day because, well, we go there almost every weekend, So we go to these surf shops all the time. You would think I'd be smart enough at this point to just say no to the, can I please a turtle?
Aww.
We bought the damn turtle.
Very cool. Is it a big one?
No, it's a little turtle. It's named Lily now. But I was just people for buying reptiles, and I just remembered I bought a reptile 2 weeks ago.
Oh, well, do as I say.
But it was
not
only
as
just,
I
it
do.
was because she was so sweet and wanted to buy it.
Aw.
But I mean, who does that?
That's cute. Kids.
Oh, yeah,
they love
yeah.
that. I think having pets is healthy.
I don't know. If you're interested in learning about the Track Shack or competing in the big event, there's a big yearly event downtown Orlando, the IOA Corporate 5K. You're going to want to stick around. We're going to ask John Hughes from the Track Shack all about that and plenty more right on the other side of this break. Stick around. It's Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando.
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
Welcome back to the program. It's Justin Clark, Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. Allie Mack is here. The beautiful Brianna joins us as well. We're joined by a very special guest tonight, John Hughes, co-owner of Track Shack here in Orlando. John, welcome to the show. How are you, sir?
Thanks.
Tell me a little bit about Track Shack, first of all.
Sure. Well, we have actually been around 41 years and started especially running store and quickly also became an event management company promoting the sport of running.
Let me ask you this question. It's a debate we've had on this program a few times. Yeah. I live in one of these neighborhoods where, big neighborhood, HOA, gated community, lots of houses, and a lot of people run in the mornings when it's still dark,
Sure.
right? We have beautiful sidewalks in our neighborhood, no problem. You can run on them. But it seems that a lot of people, when it's still dark, because I go to the gym sometimes at like 5:30, it's still dark. And these people are running in the street, like directly at my car. Mm-hmm. And I can hardly see them. Yeah. Is there a difference in running on asphalt on the road versus running on the sidewalk? Is one better than the other?
Absolutely, and that's why you're seeing it.
Okay, talk to me.
So there's two reasons.
Okay.
One is because the asphalt is softer, believe it or not, and it's hard to
I think we have
believe.
a challenge on
but
this, too.
asphalt does absorb more. The concrete is harder, but there's a second reason, and you mentioned it's dark. So even though sometimes there may be a manhole cover or a pothole, overall, the streets are much safer to run on than what can often sometimes be uneven sidewalks and sidewalks with cracks and breaks, which they can't see as well when they're running. So the roadway is usually better surface, and it is better for the legs. I will tell you, those runners that are coming toward you, they should be wearing at the very least reflective clothing or a light of some type somewhere on either on their shoe or on their body. They should have some type of light if they're running in the dark.
We've had at least 3 different physicians on this program that I've asked the same question to, and we've never really gotten a straight answer. That's the most believable answer I've heard as of yet.
Okay, we'll
Allie
take
Mack,
it.
what do
We'll
you
take
think?
it. We'll take it.
I have a feeling there's going to be some research done here, but yes, that's I'm sticking with it.
Okay, so I should not be mad at the people running towards me.
No, but you may suggest, maybe in a nice way, roll down your window and say, hey, put some lights on, or get some reflective. Plenty of reflective running gear out there.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. So, all right, that makes sense then. So I'm not going to be angry any longer.
We appreciate that.
So anyway, but really, we have had doctors on the show, and they were like, look, I don't know. One doctor said it's better to run on asphalt. The other one said, nah, concrete's fine. We never really got to the bottom of it until today, so congratulations. It took John Hughes from Track Shack to finally let me feel better about that. Tell me about this IOA corporate 5K.
Sure, yes. It's our 25th year. We're very excited to have this celebration of this event, which has become 5K in Central Florida, actually second largest 5K in the state of Florida, which makes it one of the largest actually in the United States. We are looking to have over 18,000 people come out this year, which will be, we believe we're going to get a record crowd. Our record's been 18, but we're looking to go a bit over 18,000 this year. And it's really quite not only fun, but it's a great way to come out and get your associates to come out. You may have to cajole them a little bit and that's what happens a lot of times. They'll come out, and this is the first 5K which they've ever run or walked. We encourage the walkers, and for a lot of people, this is their entree into a more healthier lifestyle. We've heard a lot of people that said, hey, I did the 5K, my office mate convinced me to go out, and now they're running half marathons. And so it's really, and it's a lot of fun. It's also, we call it it's the Central Florida's largest office party because they come out, and I believe you were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
They come out, and it's like a little mixer beforehand, and then do the run. The run's kind of an excuse for everybody to get together and then just really have a fun time afterwards.
It is a good time. It's a party. I used to live downtown, and right in front of where I think the start-finish line is for that. And it used to always be a big event every year. I mean, it is a big event. Yep. In downtown Orlando. Don't take this question the wrong way, but I've always had trouble finding enjoyability in just like getting out there and running. I don't know what it is for me, but it's hard to, because I have a lot of friends who love it. It is their time to clear their head, and sort of basketball for me is that. I like to go play basketball in the mornings, but what is something I can do for sort of entertainment purposes for myself to make me enjoy getting out there and running. Any thoughts?
Well, yeah, believe it or not, you'd be surprised. I get asked this a lot. There's actually two things that happen. I feel like sometimes, because we've been in this community a long time and people know that we, do a lot with running, and people often say to me, they almost like feel bad. I don't like to run, and I tell them it's okay. Actually, it's okay. What you need to do is find a sport that works for you. Basketball is a sport that works for you. That's the most important thing. Find something that's enjoyable, because if it's enjoyable, you're going to do it. Now, that said, I think there are some things that can make running, a bit more fun. And one thing I always suggest to people, get a running buddy. I think that's huge. Get somebody else that doesn't like to run, and do it together. And also where you run can make a difference. Aesthetically, there's some nice trails. You've got the Katy Way Trail, you've got Seminole Trail, you've got the Urban Trail now, even near downtown. Where you run can make a difference. And I think a lot of people, particularly, I have a feeling. Listening to you, because you played in high school and all, you're probably more the competitive type, and I think some people try to go out and do too much too soon. That seems to be one of the biggest issues too. So just don't worry about it. Go easy, have fun. Again, have a reward for yourself afterwards. Hey, if I do this, I'm going to go get my favorite dessert or whatever, lunch or breakfast. And but make it fun, and there's ways to do it. I'm not a big headphone person, but I know that works for a lot of people. We've never carried the plug-in. There is now a type of headphone actually that sits outside. Believe it or not, it's called Aftershocks.
Oh, really?
And it's just on the works on the vibration on the bone, the jawbone, and it is amazing. Your ears there's nothing in them. You can hear everything, like if there's a siren, if there's a car coming, but you still hear your music. And so listening to music helps a lot of people as well.
Got it. You're listening to Behind the ESPN 580 Orlando. My name is Justin Clark. We got Allie Mack here with me, the beautiful Brianna as well. John Hughes joins us from Track Shack. Also, when I try to run, John, I don't know why this is, but I could go play basketball for 3 hours. And I get tired, I sweat a lot, but not the same tiredness I feel if I go run literally half a mile. Is it just that my body's not trained for running, or what? I feel so out of shape when I just go run, yet I could play basketball for hours. I don't get it.
The answer, you are correct, actually. And I will tell you, for myself, that same situation happens with swimming. First of all, I don't enjoy swimming. I don't understand people that can go back and forth, literally for an hour or so, and just looking at a black line. And I've actually had swimmers come up to me and tell me, yeah, running's really boring. I'm like, seriously? Okay. But to that point, when I get in a pool, I swim for 15 minutes, and I can run marathons. And I go in a pool, and 15 minutes, I'm winded bad. I mean,
wow.
Okay. So, well, what it is, it's in like for the basketball, it's not continuous.
Right.
It's
very true.
Yeah, and so that's the thing. You get the breaks. You've got, and whereas when you're running, when you're doing any endurance sport, the answer is just what you said. You've not conditioned your body yet. You've not trained. That's why I tell people start out with a half mile, build up to a mile, build up to 1.5, 2 miles, 3. And as you do that, you've conditioned the body, you've conditioned the lungs, the cardiovascular system to be able to function at that, whatever the endurance, the pace, and at the length of time.
So, go ahead.
And something that's very important when you're jogging is to have good sneakers.
It's true.
That can make it or break it for me, especially. Yeah. So having good sneakers is very valuable as well.
No, absolutely. And I'm not agreeing with you, because we do happen to have a retail operation that sells them, but that having the right equipment is huge. It absolutely is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about the retail operation down at Track Shack. What do I come there to buy?
So the most important thing, Allie Mack just said it, is your shoes. And it's interesting because during recessions, it's amazing that actually running stores do really well in recessions. And the reason is people will maybe have to back off, maybe not do their tennis or their golf memberships and all. But honestly, to run, you need a good pair of shoes, which can last you anywhere from up to 6 months, depending on how much you run in them, or even longer. And, a shirt and shorts.
My shoes have lasted me for years.
Is that right?
That might be a little long, Allie Mack. We might need to
I
She hasn't run very much, and they still look super clean as well, John. If you know what I mean.
Must be doing something wrong.
So you have shoes. What else?
Shoes. I mean, in Florida, you want to have very lightweight, comfortable clothing, particularly ones that are reflective, as we mentioned earlier. And then it gets down to if you're going to be running longer distances, you want to make sure you have the right nutrition, because that is very important because of the fact that it's so hot and humid here. We sweat out a lot, and that can really become a problem when you're doing the longer miles. So most important is the shoes, then the lightweight clothing, and then nutrition.
You're trying to get in shape, and you don't know what is better. Should you be running outdoors or get a gym membership and run on that treadmill? Let's answer that question right on the other side of this break. More with John Hughes on Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando.
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
Welcome back to the show. It is Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. My name is Justin Clark. Thank you for spending your evenings here with us, 8 o'clock p.m. every single weeknight, our favorite sports radio station. Also, don't forget to watch the show. It is Behind the Law on television this Sunday and every Sunday on TV 27. If you want to watch the program, you can actually watch the radio show. Go to @Behind the Law Radio on Facebook, Instagram, any social media platform. You can watch us right there. Allie Mack is here. Hello, Allie Mack. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
The beautiful Brianna is here to my right. Hi, Brianna. What's going on?
Not very much.
Good deal. We're joined by a very special guest today, the owner of Track Shack. You can find it in downtown Orlando. His name is John Hughes. John, welcome to the show. How are you?
Yes, doing well.
So we're going to play a little trivia game here in a moment, okay? I promise you that Brianna always likes to see me lose, okay? So she's probably going to choose a category that is very common or known to you. So you're going to have a chance to beat me here. And you probably will, actually, John. You look like a very smart guy. But tell me real quickly before we start about the IOA Corporate 5K one more time.
Sure. Largest 5K in Central Florida, second largest in the state, over 18,000 participants. You can still register, actually, up until Thursday, April 18th. That's when the race will be. It's actually Thursday night, starts at 6:30. And it's just a blast. It's really fun. Don't worry if you. A lot of people also, I'm not quite sure. A lot of us don't know kilometers, and I get that. It's 5K is only 3 miles.
Okay.
So it's a lot of fun.
Gotcha. All right, so it's not that far.
No, it's not that far.
I mean, you can walk half of it if you need to, I guess, right?
You know,
if you
3
can't do
times around Lake Eola. I mean, that's not what we do, but if you're gonna try to understand that, twice around Florida Mall, 12 times around a track, it's not far.
I gotcha. Twice around Florida Mall without a credit card, Allie Mac. Don't get the wrong idea.
No,
Never mind.
The outside.
All right, now
outside.
it's time for Stop the Clarky. Come on, Clarky. We need you to get over here. We got some great trivia questions we want you to answer. Come on, Clarky. Get over here.
All right, Brianna, what is the category today?
You know what? The category of today is running.
Running. Oh, what do you know?
Lucky me.
How could I have guessed?
Look at that.
I figured it was going to be running or running. And it's running. All right, question number 1. Go ahead.
Question number 1. According to the National Runner Survey, what percentage of runners run or jog at least 4 hours a week? According to the National Runner Survey, what percentage of their runners run or jog at least 4 hours a week?
I don't know what qualifies as a runner. Someone who's ever ran?
I know the people that participated in the survey.
All right. All right, question number 2.
Question number 2. Ricardo Martinez holds the world record for consecutive marathons in consecutive days. How many marathons did he run for this title?
These are not easy, actually.
Yeah? Good.
He said good.
Thank goodness.
They make you think.
So this guy ran marathons in consecutive days.
Every single day.
Oh.
And then at the end, that number is the number of days and marathons that he did to get that title.
I couldn't do consecutive 5Ks,
No.
which is
They
3
weren't all
miles.
5Ks. Like some of them were like 10Ks. Like he was just killing it.
Wait, you're saying marathons, not 5K.
26.2
Marathon is
miles.
26.2 miles.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, question number 3, Brianna.
Number 3. The New York City Marathon is in the top 5 in the nation. How many annual spectators does this event bring out? Spectators, not the participators.
As someone whose favorite day of the year was always the Boston Marathon Day. I never got into the New York City Marathon that much, but have you ran Boston?
I have.
Oh, yeah.
It's coming up. Patriots Day.
I know.
as you say.
Patriots Day is the best day of the
It
year
is.
in Boston.
It's a blast up there.
And the Red Sox always generally play at like 11 a.m. game too,
that's
and the
exactly
city
right.
shut down. It's a
Yeah.
party too.
Cool.
Unless you're running 26.2 miles. That's a totally
It's a-
different
it's
kind
a
of party.
Tough, it's a tough course.
Yeah. All right, and last question today for a Stump the Clarky Tuesday night edition. Brianna, go ahead.
You know, it's actually about the Boston Marathon.
Oh,
because
good.
The Boston Marathon is the world's oldest modern day marathon. So what year was the first Boston Marathon held?
Oh, you knew that
Definitely
one.
know
You
that
should
one.
know this one, Justin.
All righty, let's score this game, Brianna.
Jeez.
All right, question number 1. You're listening to Stump the Clarky on Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. Question 1, Brianna, what was it?
Question 1. According to the National Runner Survey, what percentage of runners run or jog at least 4 hours a week?
Let's go with our guest, John Hughes. He's the owner of Track Shack. John, what did you say?
I said 75%.
75%. Allie Mack, who has had the same running shoes for over 3 years. What did you say?
I said 25%.
25%. Justin Clark here. I went with 67%. Allie Mack, excuse me. Brianna, what is the right answer?
The correct answer is 79%.
79%. That would go
Runner
to
walk.
John Hughes. Good job. It's 1-0. John pulls out ahead
He's like, I got
early
this.
on. All right, question number 2. What did you have?
Nothing builds your confidence like getting the first one right. Ricardo Martinez holds the world record for consecutive
tough.
marathons in consecutive days. How many marathons did he run for this title?
Allie Mack, what did you say?
I have a big question mark.
Question mark. All right. I went with 18, which it's probably going to be more than that, but I mean, there's got to be some sort of BS involved or something like that. John Hughes, what do you have?
Yeah, this is crazy, but I went 295.
295, almost a year straight of doing
Yeah.
a marathon. And I believe it's going to be way higher than 18, but I just can't even fathom running that many marathons in a row. Brianna, good answer.
607.
607?
Holy cow.
607.
I mean, how can a body really do that,
Honestly,
John?
I don't
I
even
will
know.
tell you, there was a period of time when I did run 20 miles a day. That's why I
Really?
knew. Yeah,
Wow.
but I did it for a month.
So
that's why I thought, well, this guy could certainly do it for close to a year.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking, but
you really did it that many days in a row.
2 years, almost 2 years.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Good job. John pulls ahead, and he's going to win this game, I think. But we got 2 more questions. Question number 3, Brianna, what was it?
New York City Marathon is top 5 in the nation. How many annual spectators does this event bring in?
I'll go first here. I went with 2.5 million spectators. John Hughes, what do you have?
I did 2 million.
2 million. Allie Mack?
I did 5 million.
5 million. You might be right. I mean, there's, 8-9 million people in New York City alone, and it's a 26-mile route. Is it route or route?
Route?
I say route.
Depends where you grew up.
Yeah. What do you say, route or route?
I say route.
Route. Yeah. Brianna, what do you say?
I say route.
Route. I don't even know what I say anymore. What's the right answer?
2 million.
2 million. Someone's right on the money. Yo, yeah. It's ding.
Yeah, this guy is just kidding.
Thanks, Brianna, by the way, for choosing running today.
Yeah. This is probably the biggest you-know-what kicking I've ever had in Stump the Clarky, actually, John. John, we'll see you again on the show, I don't know, 7 years from now or so.
Literally.
Someday.
He's going to get all 4 right.
All right. Not that it matters. It's a formality at this point. Question 4, Brianna.
Boston Marathon is the world's oldest modern marathon. What year was the first Boston Marathon held?
And John Hughes, will go with you first.
1896.
1896. Allie Mack.
I have a big question mark.
Question mark. I went with 1880.
Wow.
What is it?
1897.
1897?
Oh
wow, right.
You know why? I did my anniversary thing because anniversary actually means that would have been one. Yeah, you're right, because the 100th anniversary was 1996.
You got all 4 right.
John Hughes, we've been playing this game a long time, but no one has ever
just did this.
not only stumped the Clarky, but skunked the Clarky. Congratulations, man.
Okay, folks, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks, guys.
Clarky, let's get out of here, buddy. My stomach thinks my throat's cut. I'm starving.
I don't even know if I want to finish the show now. I feel like a beaten man at this point. You know what I mean?
We should just leave.
Yeah.
Let John finish the show.
It's Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. Very special guest joins us today, John Hughes, co-owner down at Track Shack. Go see him. Look, if you need to buy shoes, any sort of running type gear, he's your man. That's who you want to go see. All right, the question before the break was treadmill versus running outdoors. Any difference, John?
Yes, there's huge difference. I recommend strongly that you try to run outdoors. I realize it's hot here in Florida, and I understand when it's really hot and humid, you may want to go indoors, and that's fine. And while at times that can be a safer environment, you need to remember something. When you run, the ground does not move underneath your feet, which it does in a treadmill. Mm-hmm. I say that because your strike, your form, everything is going to be a bit different when you're actually on a treadmill. And depending if you're not very coordinated, like myself, you may fall off or get hurt on a treadmill, which I have. I would also say if the treadmill is not for you, maybe try the elliptical. Elliptical can be definitely safer, and it actually mimics running form better than the treadmill. So I actually recommend go to elliptical if you need to go indoor. But overall, I'd say try to run at a cooler time and try to go outside. Aesthetically, I think there's a huge difference too. A lot of people then are still staring at a screen a lot of times if they're indoors and really it's important for all the senses to have that open space, the green space and all like that. You say it's not just the fact of indoor, outdoor. Outdoor is just, in my opinion, better overall. You're trying to lose some weight. We all are. How many miles do you really need to run per week? Let's answer that question and many more. One more segment ahead of Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando.
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
The final segment ahead of Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. My name is Justin Clark. Thanks for spending your evenings here with us. Joined today by a very special guest, the co-owner of Track Shack. It's down in downtown Orlando. His name is John Hughes. Now, John, they're telling me here in my ear that not only am I talking to the owner of Track Shack, I'm talking to a Hall of Famer. Hi, you joined the Hall of Fame, set a record. You got to tell me about this.
Yeah, I was inducted into the Hall of Fame.
How does that? I mean, how does that happen? That's pretty impressive, and you're one of the youngest members ever, if not the youngest.
Where
I
did you
ran
get
a
this
lot.
information?
Yeah.
I ran a lot when I was in high school and college, and ran some open, and we've had really we've been working in the running industry and helping people to run for a long time. So I guess they thought that was deserving of an award, but it was very nice.
Awesome. Now, you've also been, are you still the race director over at the Walt Disney World Marathon? Or
Yes.
that's a pretty important job too, huh?
Yeah, for 26 years now.
Unbelievable. How much time out of the year does that take from you? I mean, do you work on it hard for a month, or is it something that's always involved in your daily life?
Almost daily, because we actually do 4 events. Run Disney has the marathon in January, and then we have it's actually 4 events in January. And then the Princess, which is 5K, 10K, and half in February. We just this past weekend, in fact, did the Star Wars event out at Disney, another 5K, 10K, and half marathon, the Star Wars Dark Side and Light Side. And in November, we do the Wine and Dine half marathon weekend. So myself, our incredible staff, really amazing staff, we do work on it year round.
Got it. Now, you went to Winter Park High School. Were you there when my boys, like, say, Jay Colling and Morgan and those guys were there? No? Okay. You know Jay, huh? Jay's a good guy.
Yep.
Those
Knew
Colling
Jay
boys are
and,
awesome.
Yep, and John Morgan knew them all.
Beautiful. All right.
I still know them all. I mean, knew them then, knew them now.
Yeah. All right. So I'm looking to lose a little bit of weight, and I want to do it by putting some running shoes on, putting my headphones on, and going out there and really just running to get some exercise. But I haven't done it in a while. How do I really get started? How much do I really need to be running to start shedding some pounds?
So, like anything, it's not just the exercise. It has to be somewhat, if you will, a total commitment, a total lifestyle, in the sense that you're looking at both the exercise, diet, rest, and just making sure that you're generally taking care of your body. When we say diet, too, that means some people enjoy a glass of wine. Some people enjoy several glasses of wine or beers or drinks. And again, this is part of lifestyle. You need to realize there's a lot of calories there. I'm just using that as one example. Food, of course, and sweets are another. So it's moderation in anything, in everything, and just making sure that's a complete package. On the average, people want to know a lot of times, it's about 100 calories per mile. So you can kind of do the math yourself. But what we always tell people, too, is remember, it's calories in, calories burned. So, again, it's pretty simple. I always tell people, I don't think it's a very difficult equation. Think of how many calories you're bringing in, and it's easy to know what those are these days. Remembering, too, that the certain foods and alcohol carry a lot of calories. So how many calories are you taking in, and how many are you burning? And you do burn calories through the day just walking and doing, other activities besides your exercise, but all together, and that gets into your Fitbit challenge as well.
That's true.
Asking for a friend. Any certain,
Yes, I understand.
Any certain alcoholic beverages that are better when it comes to losing weight?
Tequila, I heard.
Versus others?
Yeah, non-alcoholic.
Yeah.
It's obviously beer has the fewest amount. It's the lowest in alcohol, so lowest in calories. Your light beers, I can't drink beer, but I'm told most people tell me that they don't like the taste of certain light beers. I don't know, but light beers, wine is usually between 12 and 14%, so it's lower. Obviously, you get in your hard liquor, you're going to get into higher calories.
Got it.
Does that answer your question, Justin?
Yeah, sort of. But basically, you shouldn't drink much. I mean, I think it's like anything else. I think anything in moderation is probably okay. But
well, jogging's also not just to lose weight, but also to live a healthy lifestyle, healthier mind, better sleep, and all that. So, I'm recently started jogging within the last month or so. Yeah. So I jog in the morning. Now, I found that jogging for me was a little tedious on my ankles, so I started power walking, and then power walking works for me, and now I'm addicted, so I have to do it every morning.
Do you realize you just said power walking to a guy who has run like 100 marathons?
I know. I'm all about the walking.
I got a sense that he wasn't very judgmental.
Yeah, I know.
Or judgy over here.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
In fact, we'll have more walkers. We were talking earlier about that we have a big Iowa Corporate 5K coming up, and we have more walkers than we do runners in the event.
Well, there you go. Power walkers. Well, speaking about that, I know you have a couple other events that you, other than the corporate 5K, what are some other events that you have?
So coming up at the end of April, April 27th, is the Run for the Trees. It's another 5K, and it's beautiful. It's through Winter Park, and it actually goes through an area of Winter Park that you cannot run through or walk through anymore.
I ran in one of those.
And it's so neat. We used to do it when I was at Winter Park High School, but a few years ago, it became private property, and they've shut it off. We used to call it the Peacock Farm. It's a 1 mile stretch of a nice dirt road where peacocks everywhere.
Oh, really?
It's really cool. A lot of people don't know about it. It's right off, I think it's Lake Virginia. It's one of the lakes, the Channel Lakes. But it's once a year now that you can go through there, and it's doing the Run for the Trees, which a really cool thing is helps the city of Winter Park. We help them with their tree forestry program, and to help fund getting trees throughout the city. So it's really neat. We also have Allie Mack's going to try to help us rebrand this or rename it, but it's our weekly Wednesday run at Track Shack at 6:30. Yeah. Everyone's welcome, run or walk, every Wednesday, 6:30, right at the Track Shack.
And you guys are located right on Mills, very, very nice location, close to Winter Park, close to downtown, close to all that. So great location, good parking, and definitely I'll check you guys out on Wednesday.
Yeah, come out Wednesday, join us. You live nearby, so that'd be great.
We're talking to John Hughes, co-owner of Track Shack. I want you to go visit him. If you need to buy any running shoes, running equipment, please go see him. What's the address again, John?
So it's our address at Track Shack's 1104 North Mills. And I do just want to say one thing. We have the event company as well, but I want where I am a lot of times we have an amazing staff. Betsy, my wife Betsy, and our son Christopher are there along with our team. They are all great. I just didn't want you to maybe go to Track Shack and I'm not there.
Oh, okay.
But we do have an incredible staff that helps fit, and we do an entire analysis and fitting when people come in for shoes. That's a really important point. We don't just say, "Oh, do you like the red ones?" So it's very, very good.
Well, that brings me to my next point, because obviously there has come a time where the retail world has been sort of caved in a lot of areas due to these online stores. I mean, have you had to reinvent your model at all, being a retail store with now having to fight these huge online businesses?
Well, yeah, I would be lying if I said it hasn't had an impact. The fact that you can go to any of your major online, whatever, whether it be Amazon, whatnot. I will also even tell you that it's been challenging because even our vendors now sell online, which we never thought we'd be competing with our own vendors.
Right.
But to that end, what we continue to do, and why we are still doing actually quite well on the retail side, is the fact that we've not changed anything. If we've upped our game at all, we continually bring in orthopedists, podiatrists, physical therapists. In fact, we have every week we have a physical therapist come in, and it's free. People can come in and ask questions and all. But those people also come in and they train our staff. So we're always current on whatever the latest technology is and whatever medically is going on biomechanically and so forth, to make sure that we continue to fit people the same way. And that's one thing you can't do. Last I saw, you still can't stick your foot into a computer and have somebody tell you how. Not yet. So that's part of the whole fit process, the analysis, so that we make sure you get the right shoe. And if there is any challenge with it, if it doesn't work well, you can actually bring it back, and we're going to take care of you.
There are some things you don't worry about. Buy them online. But then there are other things, like your running shoes, the thing that you're going to be using for a while, that are really going to dictate your mental health and physical health. I mean, I think that is the kind of thing you need to go buy at Track Shack. Don't buy them on Amazon. Also, radio equipment. I'm tired of buying radio equipment. I can go to Guitar Center, and I might pay a little bit more, but I'll be able to touch and feel it, see how the microphones sound, John. But now we're talking about your running shoes. I think that is definitely the thing that you want to go buy in person. A 10.5 is not always a 10.5. You know what I mean?
You need to come to the store where you can tell people that.
So I want you to go visit Track Shack if you need to buy any sort of running equipment. One more time, John, how do we reach out?
So you can always reach us at trackshack.com, because certainly we do use the internet, and that's the other thing where we've changed. We are very big on social media, so you can get us in Twitter, Instagram, obviously Facebook, pretty much any way that's out there. But trackshack.com, TRACKSHACK, is the way to get us.
Awesome. I want you to come back on. I really did have so many more questions. Sure. We just happened to run out of time. Please go visit Track Shack, our good buddy John Hughes down in downtown Orlando for the beautiful Brianna. Allie Mack, I don't know much, but I do know one little tiny thing. I'm going to see you right back here tomorrow night on ESPN 580 Orlando.